program was pre-recorded.
You've entered the Fletch Nation with Roy Fletcher, political analyst and socio-political prophet, and Kevin Gallagher, TV and podcast host and opinionated jackhole. So settle in, grab a beverage. It's time to talk some politics. It's Fletch Nation. Now here are the boys.
Hello there. Hello once again, and we appreciate you being with us for another exciting episode of Fletch Nation.
Kevin, we're going to have a lot of discussion this week.
Yes, we will.
Yes, we will.
A lot of things that we talked about last week
kind of came true, haven't they?
Came to pass. I was telling Roy before we rolled camera that several of the topics we talked about on recent shows have come to pass, which makes Roy prescient.
Prescient.
I like that word.
Yes. And the big one was, there are two of them last week. The Dutch farmers and the progressives going after Joe Biden. It just all kind of happened like I said it was going to happen.
Yep. To give a reminder, we talked about Dutch farmers upset and having sometimes very active protests,
yes,
including spraying pig manure on things,
yes,
because their government now says you can't use fertilizer anymore. How are they supposed to grow
nitrogen
crops?
fertilizer?
Nitrogen-based fertilizer.
Yeah, you can't use it. You can't use it over there.
Just no more.
So let's talk about the Netherlands first. The Dutch.
Sure.
Number one.
The Dutch, the bloody Dutch.
Yeah. The first thing to remember is that the Dutch is the second largest agriculture producer in Western Europe.
I did not know that.
Yes, behind the Ukraine. Okay? Now, of course, the Ukraine's getting ready to go get crops here shortly, and which means that all of these sanctions and the Russian ships in the Black Sea and so on and so forth, causing real problems. But I want to first deal with the notion why this fertilizer thing is so important. The price of fertilizer in the last year has gone up 30%. Last year, it went up 80% before the year before, so 110% increase in fertilizer for agriculture over the last 2 years, okay? Wow. It is $115 higher per acre in 2021 to use fertilizer. It's a significant amount of money. So it'd be, what would that be now? About $140, okay? Per acre. Nitrogen-based is up $74 of this increase of $115. Phosphorus is up $25 of the increase, and potassium's up $17 per increase. The point of it is that all worldwide, the price of doing business and agribusiness is going up, not only because of energy, the price of energy to run your tractors, but also the price of fertilizer has skyrocketed. The importance of the Netherlands as it relates to the world, being second largest agriculture producer in Western Europe, is that the number one agriculture producer in Western Europe is Ukraine. 10% of the world's wheat exported comes out of the Ukraine. 14% of the world's corn comes out of the Ukraine. And it goes primarily to developing world, to underdeveloped nations, like Egypt, Indonesia, Pakistan, Lebanon, Bangladesh. What are we seeing over in Bangladesh right now?
We're seeing
massive riots, right? I mean, they literally taking people over and kicking the heck out of them, okay? That's what's going on over there. So
take away their food, and how much more tense do you think things are going to get?
Yeah, and the price of food is going up so quickly that, excuse me 1 second, I'm trying to turn off my sound system here so I don't interfere with, and I should have done that earlier, apologize. I don't interfere with our program. So the point of it is, so the Dutch farmers being kicked out of using nitrogen fertilizer has caused such an enormous feedback.
Which is basically telling them you can't grow crops.
Which is basically saying we're going to destroy agriculture. That's what it's doing. You can't raise crops. The other thing is that you add that to you look at what happened in Canada with the trucking, which is agriculture produce being trucked basically, along with energy, And you see that these two countries are almost in simpatico about trying to shut down supply chain, one in agriculture and one in transportation. This is going on all over the world.
I'm going to ask you a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, well, it
question.
is conspiracy theory.
Who wants to see us suffer this way?
I don't know. Ask somebody that knows. Or you ask your mom and your dad if they're alive. So I want to just say, I don't know the answer to that, and I'm not going to engage in the conspiracy theory, and I don't know what's going on here, but it's clear to me that climate change is so important to certain groups of people that they will shut down your food supply in order to enhance our ability to not burn to death.
Or to put it another way, we want to save the planet, and you can starve to death to let us do it.
That's the way you do it. Thank you very much, Kevin. That's a very nice way to put it. I don't know if it's nice, but you put it that way. Now, in the United States, so the second thing I want to talk about that we were prescient on was the notion of progressives challenging Joe Biden for the presidency. And I've been saying, look here, folks, you see all these stories coming out. It's not unusual to think that what's going on is that the Democratic left is trying to get the president to set him up as a patsy for the reason of, hey, it's Joe's fault, it's not the Democrats in Congress, reelect us. That has been my mantra for the last 2 weeks, and I think that's quite right. Now, however, we're starting to see it even worse than that. Why are we starting to see it? Well, it's interesting. The New York Times ran a poll and released it on Sunday, a Senate college poll, but it was a poll, nationwide poll, of registered voters. I'll make that very clear, registered voters. And what they found out was that 13% of the country thinks the nation is going in the right direction.
Only 13%?
Folks, 13%. That's unheard of. Joe Biden's favorability is 33%. 1/3 of this country like him, and that's it.
Wait a minute, is that among
registered
voters of both parties or all parties?
That's all parties. I'm going to get into the Democrats in 1 second. But 33% have a favorability rating of him, and here's the real problem. 64% of the Democrats say they prefer another candidate, a new candidate in 2024 for president. 64%, 2/3 of them. 26% say that they should renominate, and that's it. That's it. A fourth of the Democrats, 2/3 of the Democrats get rid of him. A fourth say, oh, keep him and nominate him.
Wow.
70% of the Democrats, it's the only Democrats, approve of Joe Biden. But that is really low for a president. Remember Trump's numbers at its lowest. What kept him up to any extent was that 92% of the Republicans found him favorable. Those numbers are just...
So what you said last week is apparently coming to his own party.
His own party. The voters in his own party are telling the leadership, we want another candidate. We prefer a new candidate. This country's going in the wrong direction, and he's the reason for it, which fits very nicely into the narrative of Joe's the reason for it. So you can reelect us, but get rid of him.
Or as Buck Sexton said on the radio last week, literally everything he has touched has turned to crap.
Yes.
That's a paraphrase, but it's close.
So, and while we're talking about turning to crap, we're going to turn to a commercial, which are not crap, because they pay the bills. Y'all stick with us.
We'll be back.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
At the Team Automotive Group, we're offering you the Team Guarantee on new and used vehicles. Included with every new vehicle is a lifetime limited powertrain warranty. And now, get a 90-day warranty on the purchase of a pre-owned vehicle. Get the Team Guarantee at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Caught spiders. Premier Pest Services.
And we're back with Fletch Nation, and once again we want to thank our good friends at Old School Barbecue on Coursey Boulevard in Baton Rouge for their hospitality. That's where we tape this program.
I had a little of that shop pork a while ago.
Well, we can tell Alan that we can, bring out some ribs here later.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll sample those.
So Kevin, we're talking about that New York Times poll that was released on Sunday.
Yes.
In the New York Times. So one of the big factors in this poll, Biden's descent, among other things, is age. Listen to this. Among Democrats, 30 years of age and lower, so 18 to 30, 94% of them say, give us a new candidate.
I can't say that I am surprised by that.
No, but the Lord himself got 92 with the disciples. So this guy can't even get 92. He's underwater on that.
So young Democrats say new guy.
New guy, and all Democrats say new guy, but young Democrats in particular say new guy. Yeah, what would they be? Well, that's the more progressive part of the party, right? What I'm getting to.
Probably the most progressive part of the party.
I would think so. I don't know that for a fact, but from the polling I've seen, yes. The New York Times said there's a vast disconnect between what Biden, his praise of the economy, and the gas prices, inflation, and the voters. They don't even, they think he's goofy when he says that the economy's good. Now, of course, he would say the other day he had 372,000 jobs created, which I'll talk about in a minute. But today we find out inflation's running 9.1% annually. But if you just take this month where it was 1.2%, you're looking at about 13.6% annually from here forward inflation rate.
Which is, by the way, a 42-year high.
A 42-year high, a new high in 42 years. So
let's go, Brandon.
Yeah, let's go, Brandon. So here's what's happened. This happened before this poll came out. There's a third-party PAC, real progressive group called Roots Action, who said they're running a whole program, a multi-million-dollar program on Don't Run Joe, hashtag Don't Run Joe. And the object, according to them, is due to, the reason is due to his job performance, being a failure. And they say that in the congressional midterms, that the Democrats will do better in midterms if voters know Biden is not going to head the ticket. See what I'm talking about, the connection. I said that last week. I didn't know this was happening, but guess what? There it is. Biden's coalition director in his campaign, an African-American, young African-American woman, I can't remember her name right now, came out and said, this is ludicrous what's going on out of this White House, basically. So the whole point is the progressives are dumping Biden quickly. They want to get rid of him because they know that it will help them in the midterm. They think if they can blame it on him or get rid of him before the midterm.
There's another thing I'd like to add to this conversation, and that's that it's more than just the impression that things aren't going well at the White House.
They're not.
Biden has had 17 staffers quit in his first year and a half on the job. That is more than any president in modern history. I mean, Barack Obama in his first year lost 1. Donald Trump lost 2.
Let me tell you, let me give you numbers on when you say things, the impression is things aren't going well. Let's talk about the economy.
Okay.
I'm going to use the exact numbers that were reported by the Bureau of Labor Statistics that Biden depended on. 372,000 new jobs. The unemployment rate is 3.6%. It remained at 3.6%. In February 2020, right before COVID hit, it was 3.5%, a tenth of a percent lower. There are 5.9 million people they consider unemployed right now. In 2020, February 2020, there was 5.7 million unemployed. That's 200,000 less then than now. The labor participation rate, that means people that the whole amalgamation of the country, how many people are actually working? It is at the lowest ebb ever, at 62.2%. In February 2020, it was at 63.4%. That's 1.2% higher. Unemployment to population ratio. In other words, how many are unemployed compared to the population? What's the rate? 59.9% today is employed compared to the population. In 2020, February, it was 61.2%. In other words, almost 1.3% more actually employed as a ratio. And not in the labor force, there are 5.7 million people right now who are not in the labor force who say they want a job. In February 2020, it was 5 million, 700,000 less than that. Okay. So you see, that on those numbers, people know what they feel. What they feel are these numbers. Here's another one. Over last year over year, the average hourly income has increased 5.1%. The problem is the inflation has gone up to 9.1%. So you're actually losing more than you're gaining. In fact, you're losing 4% more than you're gaining. That's where it is. By the way, it's 9.1% today. The expectation was 8.8%. So they really missed the impact. This is not even including the discussion of recession that's being so bandied about right now. And I think we're in one.
Yeah, I think we're already in one.
Let me give you some other numbers. This is from another poll, from July the 11th. His approval then was 30, his disapproval was 58. Among independents, it was 19 approved, 68 disapproved. Wow. Among Hispanics, it was 36 approved, 49% disapproved.
Wow.
Yeah. Approval in states with hot Senate races, real quick. Georgia, 25%. Arizona, 26%. Nevada, 29%. Pennsylvania, 31%. Wisconsin, 32%. New Hampshire, 33%. Those are all hot Senate races. He's not even popping over 35 in any of those states.
Well, the Democrats would be foolish if they didn't discourage him from running for a second term, I think.
Absolutely. And even more so, they have a real problem here with the fact that they're put into a position where they might have to try to force him now.
Before his term's over.
Yeah, in order to save themselves. But with that, we're going to be right back, and we take this break. We'll listen to our commercials because they help pay the bill.
Please do.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Mandafine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Mandafine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Mandafine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
The Mazda CX-50. Confident on and off-road performance and intelligently designed utility inside and out.
The all-new Mazda CX-50 has arrived and is on sale right now at Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi gang, Clarence Buggs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Buggs Show.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
So if you're just joining us on Fletch Nation, which, by the way, Roy Fletcher, I'm Kevin Gallagher. Roy has been breaking down by numbers and percentages some of the failures of the current administration and some disturbing polling numbers that show that really nobody, especially Democrats, wants Biden to run again in 2024.
That's correct.
You had mentioned that these were registered voters.
That's
the poll
correct.
was registered voters.
Yes.
What about some polls do likely voters, people that not only are registered but are actually going to go and do it?
It's even worse, okay? Now, the reason why I know that is because on this is the one bright spot. Thank you, Truck. This is the one bright spot for the Democrats. On the presidential race, if it were Trump and Biden actually beats Trump 44-41 because these are registered voters.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at polling on likely voters, Trump is ahead 3-4. Not by much, but that
Still ahead.
Yeah, but that's a race that nobody wants to see. That's what that's really telling you. Really, don't have this race, please. So I want to take a couple of other things. This is obviously a doomsday election this fall for the Democrats. They can lose massive amounts of seats. I've told you, I think it's 30 to 35, 22 to 35. And that's enough to switch the House. The Senate, I just went over the Senate with you about where the races are. These are the hot races in the country, in the United States Senate. Georgia, Herschel Walker versus Warnock.
Big race.
Big race, huge race. Out in Arizona, we don't know who the Republican is yet, but that's taking on Mark Kelly, I think is his name. Nevada.
Mark Kelly, the astronaut, right?
Yes, right, yeah. Gabby Gifford's husband.
Yeah.
And Nevada is, I can't remember Paul's last name. His daddy was the very close to Reagan, et cetera. He's run. Pennsylvania, that's Oz versus the gentleman, the lieutenant governor. And Wisconsin is Ron Johnson, and New Hampshire is Maggie Haberman, or I believe that's her name. So those are the hot races, the Senate races in the country. And Biden finds himself, he can't top 35 favorability in any of those states. So that creates a real problem for the Democrats.
Biden's got no coattails for a candidate this fall to ride on.
No, he may have less than no coattails. He may have bad coattails.
Negative coattails.
Negative coattails. So it's a doomsday election, and the progressives are saying, look, get rid of the old guard. Run new candidates, run progressive candidates. I remember last week I spoke about Jamie Skinner, who is a progressive in Oregon, who earlier this year defeated Kirk Schrader, who was an old guard incumbent that Biden had gone out there and endorsed, and they summarily dismissed him. Last week I said the generic ballot had dropped to 5 between Republicans and Democrats. This week the generic ballot is back up to 8. So it's somewhere between 6 and 8. That's a massive defeat for the Democrats. Massive defeat.
May I pose another question?
Yeah, please.
We're talking about the Biden endorsement, Biden coattails. We know that you can't get any benefit from his endorsement. To what extent does his presence in the White House damage the Democrats in general?
I think that it's bad. Clearly, it could be considered to be catastrophic. But understand now what I'm talking about is a strategy of the Democrats, which is to lay the blame on Biden in order to take the blame off the Democratic Congress. So you argue Biden's the problem, that the real problem with all this. He caused all this. Elect your Democratic congressman because we will do the following.
Well, what about all the Democratic congressmen that were standing right next to him while he was doing it?
Well, of course, man, of course. You know, but here's the way it kind of breaks down. So the Biden thing is a big issue. Okay, the Republicans versus the Democrats in the fall. Here's the arguments. The Republican side, guns, we got to do something about it. Well, that explains why Mitch McConnell, to the detriment of, or to the dislike of a lot of people, or some people, quickly moved to get that bill passed that sort of nibbled around the edges, that at least the progressives argue that. Whereas the real conservative pro-gun people argue, well, you're fooling with our rights. So, but the point of it is, McConnell made a strategic decision. This is a small price to pay for Congress. That's what the decision was, you understand. The next thing the Democrats argue is Roe v. Wade. You overturned it. Roe v. Wade so far does not seem to have any real significant impact on the generic ballot issue. We're back up to 8. Okay? So it's not really having. And then the last thing is, I think that they will argue, is the Supreme Court. Oh, we got to do something with the Supreme Court. Let me tell you something, folks. This is unbelievable. I got my notes here. That's why I'm turning my little trusty paper. 52% of the likely voters in this country favor the Supreme Court. Not on just anything, on all overall, as an institution.
In other words, they respect their decisions.
They respect the institution. 43% find it unfavorable. But among Democrats, 33% find it favorable, 63% unfavorable. 72% versus 33 among Republicans, and independents 52. So, here's what the majority of the Democrats say about the Supreme Court as an institution. It's racist, it's against women, and we need to pack the court or elect judges. In other words, the very institution that made sure that African Americans could vote, that could make sure that public accommodations were there, make sure of all these things, that granted you the Roe v. Wade right, so on and so. Now that institution is racist against women and etc. What your problem is not the institution. It's the problem is what these people are deciding. So quit beating up on the institution with this court packing crap. It's unbelievable.
It really is.
It's unbelievable. And so
it reminds me of kids in the schoolyard where the game would be going fine until they started to lose, and then it was not fair, you cheated.
Yeah, well, you changed the rules then too. No, wait. You got to hit twice. You got to hit somebody twice with that dodgeball.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it was. I mean, but yeah, that's the way it is.
And now they want what? You got to have a majority of 13 justices,
or whatever it is. I mean, and the other thing they seem to forget is that elections have consequences. They were quick to say that when Obama was president.
Yes, they were.
But they don't want to deal with that now. And so consequently, and they see doomsday coming. They see doomsday coming. And what is going to happen with doomsday if what happens is 2022, they get wiped out in Congress, and 2024, they get wiped out for the presidency. Look, I don't think there will be a Joe Biden-Donald Trump election. I do not believe that. I think there will be a Ron DeSantis-Gavin Newsom election.
Really? You think Newsom is the guy?
Yeah, I think
Ron DeSantis is actually a wiser choice to run in 2024 than Donald. Donald Trump is just too polarizing.
That's
and
the problem.
there are even conservatives that hate him.
We
He's
have talked about this before, about his caustic personality.
Yeah. Now, I think he did a brilliant job as president. I mean, I've never really thought he was a great human being, but he's just so polarizing.
I'm a big Trump guy. I mean,
I know you are.
Yeah, big, huge. But I think maybe he needs to think about this thing now, and I think over a period of time that the better part of judgment will take control of this situation.
Time for another quick break. Let's watch some commercials together, you and I, and then we'll be back on the other side with Fletch Nation.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Gallagher High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
At the Team Automotive Group, we're offering you the Team Guarantee on new and used vehicles. Included with every new vehicle is a lifetime limited powertrain warranty. And now, get a 90-day warranty on the purchase of a pre-owned vehicle. Get the Team Guarantee at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Heard all over Louisiana on fine talk radio stations and now seen on major cable systems covering, goodness gracious, easily
40%?
nearly 40% of the state of Louisiana.
We're growing.
We're on all
we're
Cox
gonna get
cable
better
systems.
too, by the way.
All
now,
Cox cable
Kevin,
systems and two
we're
others.
just seeing. We're looking at the TV there. I see where Murdaugh, Alex Murdaugh, I think is his name.
Alex, yeah,
in
that's it.
South Carolina, he's about to be charged with murder of his wife and his son. Apparently, they're reporting that, which is, if you kept up with it, any of y'all folks, one of the most fascinating murder cases I've ever heard about. This is going to be fun. Not good, but going to be fun.
It's going to be like one of those Fatal Vision type cases?
No, this is about money and power. This is it's good stuff. Okay?
I'm going to have to go do my research now.
Yeah, there's a podcast that comes out of South Carolina on the Murdaugh murders. You need to go listen to it. They really get caught up. Now, Wisconsin Supreme Court. Oh, that's real hard. That's kind of a weird transition. The Wisconsin Supreme Court ruled 4-3 this past week that Zucker boxes and vote harvesting were unconstitutional in the state of Wisconsin. They voted 4-3. It was a close vote, but there is a case the Supreme Court now has just accepted out of North Carolina on congressional redistricting where constitutional issues are being raised. And these two places have something to do with one thing. It's called the independent state legislative theory. And it goes back to 2020. Remember 2020, I used to argue, this is my fault, but I did it anyway. I argue, wait, you can't do that in Pennsylvania because the legislature did not change those laws. They were changed by bureaucrats. And the Constitution says, that the state legislatures have the power to do that. So the notion is, the independent state legislative theory is that the laws relating to elections, federal elections, such are all manifested by the Constitution in the state legislature. So that is the theory. In other words, courts, all that, don't have any control of it. Bureaucrats. Okay? So it's based upon, one, the election clause of the Constitution, which says time, place, and manner of holding federal elections for senators and reps shall be presided by, or shall be prescribed by state legislature. But Congress may at any time, by law, make or alter those regulations of the state. So, okay? The second one is the presidential electors clause. Each state shall appoint in such manner as the legislature may direct electors. Okay? That's where the power comes from. And the argument is then what is legislating? What is a legislature? Is that just that body, or is that whole process that the courts decide whether or not what the legislature did was constitutional or whatever the case may be? So if you're against the state legislative theory, independent state legislative theory, then you believe that it's a broad reading of the word legislature. If you're for it, you take a very prescribed, very precise reading of what the legislature meant. So if there is a good, for example, if a governor under the state constitution has the power to veto something, they can veto it. That's part of the legislative process. If a bureaucrat has the power to do something, they can do it. That's part of the legislative process. And so long as the compliance is with the state constitution, maybe. I don't know exactly how they would deal with that, those people that are proponents of this theory. Now, in the Constitution, as I said, what happened is that in the electors clause, it says that the power to prescribe time, place, and manner presides with the state legislature, unless the Congress overrules it by law. Well, some people argue, well, in the beginning, back in when the country passed the Constitution, that the Constitutional Convention delegates were so afraid of state legislatures screwing with elections that they put this in there. But if they had put that in there that way, they wouldn't have prescribed the power to them. Mm-hmm. Okay? So it gets to be a little dicey. And I've read the ratification. I was going through this. This is a book on the ratification conventions in each state, 13 states. And all of them raised an objection. This messes with state sovereignty if you don't allow this power to be vested in the legislatures and not with anybody else. And they didn't even like the congressional, Congress could pass a law to alter. Many people didn't like that. But because you had to take the Constitution not willy-nilly, you had to take it all or nothing. There wasn't much time to try to amend that whole thing. There are cases in the 20th century and the early 21st century that sort of support this independent. And here's where it really where the genesis of it is. Rehnquist and Gore, Bush v. Gore, Gore v. Bush, in 2000 wrote a concurrent opinion, which he said, look, if you're trying to do something with the amendment process, the Constitution, Article 5, guess what? The legislature has control of those elections solely. Okay, so he sort of tipped his hat to this whole notion of everything. So here's what's happened, and I'll conclude this quickly. Conservatives want to argue that what was done in Wisconsin was good. The courts did it in Wisconsin, not the legislature, the courts. And then they say, no, but what's happening in North Carolina, the legislature should have control of that. Oh, which one is it then?
Yeah.
Okay, in other words, you can't have both. Now, you might argue you could have both. I could see an argument maybe where you could try to split the baby and have both, but it really is a situation where you got to choose one side or the other on this thing. I don't think it's a viable theory ultimately from what I've read, because I don't think the framers were very upset with state legislatures. They just wanted a mechanism where they would say, if they started messing around, like not giving people equal representation, like a new section of the state was brought in, the people didn't get a right to vote. Mm-hmm. Well, wait a minute, you can't do that. I think that's what they were concerned with. The other thing is that they wanted the legislatures to have that power. For what reason? So that they would be part of the union and would not give elections, and so they could walk out of the union. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's a whole segment on something that's odd, but you're going to see a lot about it.
We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, some more thoughts, and we'll also have our weekly chat with John Carmouche coming up on Fletch Nation. Stay there.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Mandafine Meats, the flavor says it all.
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
Back with Fletch Nation. I don't know if Mr. Master Control wants to get a tight shot on any of this wonderful food, but they brought us some.
It's unbelievable.
They brought us some delicious food here from Old School Barbecue here.
And I always have a say: when somebody gonna give you free food, you eat it all.
Exactly.
Okay.
And as an old hippie, you never turn down a free meal.
You don't.
That's the hippie credo.
I don't know about all that. But
this is some incredibly delicious barbecue. If you live in Baton Rouge or you ever visit Baton Rouge, I think that if you're a barbecue fan, you need to take that exit, that Airline Highway exit off of Interstate 12, go south about a half a mile to Coursey Boulevard, and then turn left onto Coursey Boulevard.
Hook a left.
Or turn east on Coursey Boulevard, depending on which direction, and go about another half a mile, and Old School Barbecue will be on your left-hand side, 10655 Coursey Boulevard.
And by the way, I've been out here on the weekends to pick up take home. They have a big party out here on Friday and Saturday.
Live entertainment?
Live entertainment. A big party.
They have a big time.
Yes, they do.
So come on out.
But I didn't participate. I just went on home. But
by the way, the barbecue sauce is a proprietary homemade barbecue sauce. It's made here on the premises.
It is unbelievable.
It does not come out of a bottle, ladies and gentlemen, until they put it in one first.
It's unbelievable.
It really is.
So Kevin, so that's the substance of our show today, and we always go to John Carmouche in this show, and we're getting ready to do the same here. When do we cut there?
Anytime now.
Anytime? Okay. Well, let's go to John now. My conversation with John. The first part of it will end this week, and then we'll come back next week with the second part of it.
Okay.
Yep. For those of you on the radio that listen to us on the radio and those now seeing us on TV, we're going to start a new little series today with John Carmouche, an old friend of mine who I've done work for, who's an environmental lawyer, attorney here in the state of Louisiana, and in particular as it relates to our coast, our land, and our water, and the cleanup of our coast, land, and water. John, we appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Roy. Thank you for having me.
You have made a name for yourself in environmental law and litigation and so on and so forth. Tell us about your past and where you came from and what sort of sparked this interest.
Well, I'm from Napoleonville, Louisiana, born and raised. Then I went to E.D. White High School in Thibodaux. But my whole life, since I was a child, I've enjoyed the outdoors of Louisiana. And it kind of brings back old memories and brings back thinking about my papa and my uncles, and who would gather every Sunday for a dove hunt and a quail hunt. And there's everything you can do in Louisiana. That's why it's so precious, and we have to protect it. You have dove hunting, quail hunting, rabbit hunting, squirrel hunting, deer hunting, hog hunting. It's all here.
Duck hunting?
It's all duck hunting.
Yeah.
It's all here, and if we don't protect it, and I'm watching the town I grew up in, Napoleonville. It's not the same, and it's because of what has happened on the coast. And we're watching things happen in our lifetime that is not going to be good for the future.
We're going to let me ask you this, rather than go to the where you went to school and that sort of thing. Tell us what's happened way down there on the coast. I mean, has there been literally physical changes to what land is left and that sort of thing? What do you see down there?
Roy, the biggest thing that we have done is collected aerial photography from the 1920s and 30s. And it is a dramatic change. We are losing hundreds of miles of land and marsh, precious of Louisiana, that protects not only the coastline, but it also protects upland.
Yes.
So it's a barrier, and those people's lives have changed. I mean, if you think back to the 1960s and 70s, and you look at what happened then and how they lived and the prosperity they had to now, I mean, they've lost a lot.
Yes.
And they've had to move.
Yeah.
And frankly, we've lost good citizens of Louisiana to other states because they've had to move.
And we have an exodus problem anyway. So when a fisherman or people in the fishing business go into those marshes and those kind of things, what do they see that's changed dramatically in those marshes? I mean, if they punch the ground, 2 or 3 feet down in the water, what happens?
Well, if they punch the ground where they had an old pit, because now you can't see the pit, so what happened was the oil companies dumped their waste into the marsh rather than injecting it down where you couldn't see it below the land. So they dump this waste into the marsh. You take a pole, you scrape the bottom, and an oil sheen comes up. It looks like almost a BP oil spill in the marsh.
Wow.
And now these people, these fishermen, are seeing nothing but water. There is no more land. There's no more marsh. So not only do you see that, but you have old pipes, you have old wells that these regular recreational fishermen are having to deal with every day.
So those are the things that you bring litigation on, correct, to try to address and solve, correct? Or remediate?
The litigation is specifically to provable damages caused by the oil industry. Nothing more, nothing less. We have pinpointed exactly what the oil companies have caused, and we're only suing to restore to its natural state Louisiana's coast that was caused by the oil companies. That's what the lawsuit's about.
Now, we have this thing going on in Europe right now, and the price of gas and the price of oil is jumping like crazy. And I assume that that's going to continue because of the nature of, it was already jumped to $90 a barrel, and so it'd probably go to 120, maybe 150 now. So how does this affect Louisiana? I mean, what can you do? What do you have a program that not only deals with the litigation but deals with the economic future?
Since the beginning of the litigation, I'm a Republican who believes in bringing back jobs to Louisiana, and from the beginning, we need the oil industry. We need a balance.
So you're not against drilling?
No, I want drilling, and I think this is the opportunity for Louisiana to drill. We need to have a clean slate We need to clean up the environment so oil companies can come in and operate and not be liable for what happened in the past. Let's open up Louisiana for business. The coast is open. Let's settle these lawsuits and open up the coast, and we'll have more jobs and more economic development in the coast than we've ever seen.
Fascinating. Last thing I want to ask you, I got off on all that and tell us a little bit about your education quickly.
I went to Catholic school in Prankerville, Louisiana, St. Elizabeth till 8th grade. Then I went to E.D. White Catholic School, and then LSU undergrad, graduated in business, and then I went to Loyola Law School in New Orleans.
Oh, you do more than just law business, though, right? I mean, you're in other businesses and enterprises, correct?
I do real estate business. I have a bunch of friends that I have teamed up with to do some type of economic development in different areas of the state, where we try to go in and develop to create jobs in other parts of the state.
Okay. John Carmouche is going to be back on a regular basis, we hope, in the coming days. But we thank you, John.
Thank you, Roy. Appreciate it.
Roy just told me to do this. There you go.
Man, what is that, Kevin? The Blues Brothers.
We're on a mission from God.
Yeah, that's it. I love that. I love it. Anyway. So,
by the way, I want to thank you all for watching those messages from John Carmouche, and we have part 2 coming up next week, and there are more segments with John Carmouche ahead in the weeks ahead.
Yeah, it took us a little time to get them produced.
Well, he's a hard man to nail down.
He's very
sit in
hard
that chair long enough to.
He's rocking and rolling.
Mm-hmm.
But that's neither here nor there. Kevin, we got some interesting things, smaller elections coming up in Louisiana over the next few months. Shreveport mayor's race. And you said you heard where Greg Tarver was talking about switching to Republican?
I read an article, one of the Shreveport paper, I think, yeah.
And then there are a lot of judicial races. One, First Circuit Court of Appeal here in Baton Rouge. There are going to be several candidates in it, including Don Johnson and Hunter Graham, and others. And then we have the congressional races in the fall, but there are no races, so that really doesn't matter. Only the Senate race.
And the Senate race is going to be
that'd be a blowout.
Long, slow process to John Kennedy's next term.
So, folks, on this mission from God, we're going to be back next week to what was the sister's name?
The Penguin.
The Penguin, yeah. We will be talking to the Penguin next week. No, we actually have Scott Angel. Thanks for being with us.
God bless. Bye-bye.
Listening to Fletch Nation with Roy Fletcher and Kevin Gallagher. Remember, if you heard something that ticked you off, upset your sensibilities, or threatened your precious safe space,
the opinions expressed by the hosts and guests are purely their own and do not reflect those of this radio station or its advertisers.
So if you're calling a lawyer, planning a boycott, or a cancel campaign, forget about it and join us next week for more Fletch Nation.